All right, everybody, welcome to the third broadcast of the Truth Guru. If you're listening on a podcast, this is obviously not live, but for right now, it's live. And let's just jump right into it. Let's see here, see what we can get into here. Okay, so first off, the thing I want to start with is and sorry if you heard the background music there for a little bit and having a bit of a technical hiccup. Anyway. If just to start off this week's broadcast, I want to talk about a couple things. So first off, if you listen to last week's broadcast, my friend MR.X, who came in here and valiantly, risked his life to come in here and talk about his time at Area 51. Sadly, he has passed on. He was shot immediately upon exiting my door. So I pretty much bunkered up inside my house for a good week. I only left today, and it's because I needed more milk. I'm a very heavy milk drinker, and I definitely needed some more milk. And so I went out and got some milk, and I did notice a couple people in a black car that were following me, but I ain't no conspiracy theorist, so I'm not gonna get into that, but I'm pretty sure that they were the government, and there's no doubt in my mind at this point that I'm on a list somewhere, so but that's fine. I totally knew that was gonna happen. I was prepared for that. So let's see here, let's get on to the next thing. So let's talk about this Trump thing real quick. Trump with this whole Sweden thing. Now, this happened about a week ago. Trump gets on a podium in Florida and starts talking about how he saw on TV last night in Sweden had all these criminals. And, Sweden's got a big immigration problem from all these criminals are immigrants and all that. And it started making me wonder if my original thought that he's trying to box us in is still in effect. I don't know if that's his plan anymore, because at that point, to me, it seems like he was maybe talking up the U.S., like trying to get maybe some more Swedes to come over here, like, hey, come over, the U.S. is great, Because, it was obviously not a true statement. There were things that came out against him, everything. I'm not from Sweden. I've never visited Sweden. Sweden's a pretty clean country. They ain't got nothing to hunt up there too much. I've never really visited Sweden. But as far as I can tell, they're pretty clean. So, and the things he said were wrong. So, I don't know what his plan is. I don't know what he's planning on doing next. But let's get back to talking about MR.X real quick. I got a couple people that responded about MR.X, and some believed him, some didn't. I was one of his friends, and I believed him outright. That man couldn't lie for shit. The dude had the biggest mouth on him in an honest way. He couldn't keep his mouth shut about anything. You couldn't ever tell him if there was a surprise party or something, because he'd go off, flutters his mouth and everything. So, I guess that's on him. But he's dead now. I did not attend the funeral. I don't even know if there was a funeral. I don't even know if he has any family. Us hunters, we try not to really have too many friends. It causes some emotional problems. My two best friends are my two cats that live with me, and one of them is currently playing with a fake mouse. They don't care about me, and that's the way I like it. You don't care about me too much, I don't care about you too much. You die, I might shed a tear, but at the end of the day, I have separated myself from you. So, okay, so now let's jump into some stuff. Now, I told y'all this week I didn't want to talk too much about aliens. I did tell you I would talk about a theory that I found on Reddit. But for the majority of the podcast, I don't want to spend too much time this week on aliens. Now, aliens have been a big subject here, and that is strictly because it's what got me into hunting. There is more out there, and honestly, I've probably dealt with more of that stuff. Aliens have been the skittish guys. You know, they don't really show up too often. You got to deal with some of the other ones. If you want an accurate depiction of that, go watch the documentary series. It's on the CW. It's called Supernatural. And there's an episode where they think they're dealing with aliens, and it actually turns out to be elves. And that was actually an experience that happened with me. I thought I was dealing with aliens, and it turned out to be something else. But we'll talk more about that later. Right now, let's get the alien part out of the way. I want to get this to you guys. This theory that's out there. I want to get that to you guys, and then we'll start talking more about the other stuff that some people care a little bit more about. I have a feeling once I start talking about more of this, we'll have more people understand just how much of the truth I know, because UFOs are such a debated subject. But you know, things like vampires and swamp monsters and Bigfoot and all that thing, those things aren't as debated. A lot of people just straight up believe it. So let's get started. Okay, so if you don't know, my Reddit is the _truth_guru. That's my Reddit username. If you ever want me to look at an article or something, put my username in a comment so it'll tell me I've been mentioned. Had a little bit of trouble on Reddit this week. I was commenting on some stuff, some people who have discovered the truth, and I had someone get a little bit how do I say it? Accusatory with me. You know, I commented on something, and he came back at me and told me I was an idiot, you know, and that I was spamming. I'll tell you right now, sir, I have not eaten spam in better part of 8 years. Ever since I found out that they've been using unicorn hooves in the recipe, I don't want no part of that. You know, unicorns are the one monster that I'm okay with keeping around. So, let's see here. I want to go to a conversation, though, that one guy brought up. Now, what the article was about, let me get into the comments here real quick. The article was about the press conference that NASA held, talking about the planets they discovered circling or orbiting a star that's not too far away from us, and the planets are habitable planets. It could easily be a place where maybe some alien races are living. Not that they would actually tell us that. And I commented on it, and I said, let's see, where's my thing here? I said, maybe even NASA has come to their senses and finally figured out a way to reveal the truth and stop the government's plans. Signed, the Guru. And then I had someone comment and said, yeah, because there's only one country, one government, one space agency that has ever had or has any information about aliens. In fact, the rest of the world outside the US is just an illusion. Now that was Ziploc 9000 that said that, and I want to talk about this because I replied to him and I said that's a tight theory, but I've seen too much of the outside world to know it is indeed real. Now this has been something that's gone around in hunter circles for a while. Hunters that stay mainly on the state side of things, you know, stay in the US, sometimes start to believe that the outside world does not exist, that it is an illusion set up by somebody, you know, whether it be government, aliens, monsters themselves. But I can assure you, I have traveled to other places, and they're just like here. You know, they got the same problems as us. They got aliens, they got vampires, they got Bigfoot. You know, Bigfoot ain't just in the woodlands of the US. Sorry to let you know that. It's just he's a little bit sneakier up in Europe because they're so tightly packed together, and there's so many of them. So, see, and here's the guy. His name is Green Bottle Time. He said, okay, you really do run around spamming this shit. Are you an idiot or a crazy person, or an idiot crazy person? And someone commented and called me a crazy idiot. You can call me whatever you want. I've been called many things over my career. Crazy idiot is the least of my problems. You know, I got guys sitting out in the black van in my front yard right now, probably listening to all this, and I know what I am. You know, you may think I sound crazy. It's because you can't handle this shit. You can't handle the shit that I'm giving to you. I'm spoon feeding to you. It just boggles my mind sometimes how people can be. So anyway, let's get now to the theory I was talking about last week about UFOs being demonic. Now here's what the post says. It asks a question. It says, "Are UFOs really demonic?" And in the comments thing, or in the text field, it says, "I hear some say that UFOs are part of the last day deception and aliens are really demons. Does anyone here believe this? I really can't make up my mind." Now, there's some comments on this. You know, some people go into some greater detail, and I do want to read one of them that goes into greater detail. I'll read that right now before I say anything. It says, the Chattanoogan says, "I believe that's exactly what they are. I've been reading a lot about this theory lately, and every bit of it makes perfect sense. The Bible says Satan and his demons are masters at deception, and I believe they've been deceiving humanity since their fall. I believe that the demons deceived early civilizations by claiming to be from the stars and were worshipped as gods because of their knowledge they shared with humans. It even fits the Anunnaki theory." Never heard of that theory, but okay. "The reptilian race described by some of the earliest civilizations on opposite parts of the globe." Oh, I have heard of that. I've never called it the Anunnaki theory, though. I just call it the swamp monster theory because it was real. "I also think it's no coincidence that Satan appeared to Eve as a serpent/reptile in the Garden of Eden." Good observation. "My theory is that in the last days they will reveal themselves to us as aliens from another planet with a scientific explanation for our existence that completely destroys the basis of all religion, causing the masses to turn their backs on their religious beliefs. It's the only thing that would unite all the nations of the world as predicted in the Bible. This event is what I believe the Bible describes as the Great Deception." Now, it's a very interesting theory, and it is a very tempting one. Are aliens just demons, just deceiving us? Okay. They have much of the same behavior. They usually don't make themselves known to us easily. They steal people away, such as my good friend, and they cause us discomfort. No one sees a UFO and is immediately comforted. If you ever notice that, no one ever talks about a UFO like, "Oh, I saw a light in the sky and I felt a sense of wonder, a sense of greatness." No, not at all. And in fact, there's a Reddit post I was just looking at. I can go back and find it real quick. It's on my front page. Okay, where this man, or presumably a man, is talking about how he's not really connecting with his life anymore. And someone comes in and says, "I totally feel the same way. I saw a UFO in 2006 that made me reevaluate everything. It changed everything. I kind of ran away for a little bit." Something you would do if maybe you saw a ghost or a demon, right? Okay. Here's the only problem with that. If you're a regular Joe Schmo, yeah, that theory might seem real. And you know what? There's a very, very big possibility it could be real. I'm not God. I can't tell you. But I will tell you this. In my days of hunting, I've hunted a few demons. Or what I have thought to be demons. I'm not sure if they were demons for sure or not. But everything in the rule book pointed towards demons. Now, the thing about demons is you can't really hunt them. I don't have any magical knife or gun or anything like that for killing demons. And so you kind of just got to let them go. You basically just scare them away. Exorcisms, actual exorcisms take too long and all that fun stuff. So there is a difference there. Even though they share many of the same common traits, I have fought a couple demons. I've actually never fought any aliens. I've seen UFOs. I've had missing, people go missing on me. But other than that, it's pretty much stayed okay. And that's kind of interesting to me. But let's see here real quick. Let me just okay, so he's talking about something different on here. By the way, I have my Twitter open, so if you would like to tweet at me at this time, tweet at me truth_guru_, and then put the hashtag truthlive. Hashtag is truthlive. So that's pretty much all I gotta say about that. It's such a wishy-washy thing. You never really truly know the truth in a situation like that, because that's end of days stuff. That's stuff that will be revealed to us in a long time, hopefully a long time. But there are things that can be revealed to you right now. And my travels and my research have brought about these things for me. Now, here's what I'm doing right now. I'm gonna tell you about a couple of different creatures that I have, for lack of a better word, I don't know. I've hunted many things, whether it be vampires. I keep saying vampires, swamp monsters, werewolves, stuff like that. And this is gonna be real hard, because many people don't believe in those things, and if they do, they believe in very pop culture-ish views of them. Now, many people believe that that swamp monster, vampires were invented as a legend by Bram Stoker, right? And it dates back to a tuberculosis outbreak that happened in Eastern America, and how they believe they were vampires. So the modern vampire was invented by Bram Stoker. Before that, they were kind of just monsters in the dark that drank blood, and then they became a personified thing. Vampires have been around, I would put my guess, about maybe 300 to 400 years after the death of Jesus Christ. And I say that because through my years of research and chasing some of the older vampires, things they have said have led me to that number. And vampires, while they share many common traits with the vampires of today, they also do not. One thing's for sure, they do not look human. A vampire is not going to come to your house and cuddle with you or stare at you while you sleep. He's not going to, do you. He's not gonna get you pregnant with a little baby vampire. Okay, whatever the fuck her name is, Bella. Oh dear Lord, Bella. So vampires look like monsters. Imagine a goblin the size, about anywhere from the shortest I've seen is about 6 foot, and the tallest I've seen is about 8 foot. They grow long hands and very long limbs. Things are stretched out. They look a lot like Wendigos. If you ever seen a Wendigo, they look very much like them. And we'll talk about Wendigos a little bit later. But the most important part is while they keep lots of that, their brain still stays intact. So take this horrible, awful creature I just gave you, give them the teeth of you ever played Mortal Kombat 9, the kind of the reboot one? If you look at, there's a character named Melina, But Baraka's a little bit closer. If you look at Baraka, he's got those teeth that kind of gnash together, these big long nasty fangs. That's more of what a vampire looks like. And what's important to note, like I said, with the brain and everything, so they can still talk and they can still articulate just fine. And I mean, the most important part that I always like to point out, you know, with all these shows like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, you know, that was the first attempt at a documentary, but they got a little bit too entertaining with it, you know, and you know, things like even the documentary Supernatural, I like how they kind of try to stray away from it a little bit, but it's still very, very entertaining. Vampires cannot have sex. Very interesting thing. So a vampire, their heart is not beating, right? And this is one of the biggest problems. I ever watch a show or a documentary or anything like that, and they show vampires getting it on, you know, every male vampire I've killed, they've been limp-dicked, you know? Nothing gets it up because their heart doesn't pump blood. And guess what you need to get it up? Blood. You could give a vampire Viagra every single day, every 4 hours, and nothing would happen. They might get some indigestion and might have horrible diarrhea, and that's about it. You know, I don't know. I mean, even that, you know, I don't know how their digestive system worked. I didn't check to see if they were pooping regularly. I just cut their damn heads off, you know. But that's the most important part for me that people get. If you have a vampire fetish, remember they can't fuck, so you're shit out of luck on that one. But that doesn't mean that they're still very protective of it. Most vampires walk around nude because of how tall they are, and it is still a dick measuring contest all the way around. And I don't understand that, because some guys are growers, some guys are showers. I ain't no shower, I know that. So if I was a vampire, I'd be fucked. They'd be calling me baby dick walking around, you know. But hell, they don't know that I'm actually packing 7 inches of blood pumping heat, you know. But hey, to each his own. To each his own. You want to have a soft dick measuring contest, you don't call me. That's against the rules to me. You know, that's not what I used to do in the gym shower. So anyway, getting a little off subject there, but so they have these teeth. They don't stick 2 little fangs in your neck, and they suck it out, and it's kind of a sexual experience some people have. This ain't no Interview with the Vampire shit, you know. No, they rip you to fucking shreds. They rip you to fucking shreds. Now, there is another thing, too. They have psychic powers. They have the ability to control your mind, you know, to hypnotize you. So, one thing I used to always do to avoid that is snow goggles. Reflective snow goggles. You wouldn't believe how awesome those work for hunting vampires. You put on a pair of reflective snow goggles, you go out hunting. They look at you with those crazy hypno eyes, and you ain't got shit in your brain, because they're looking right back at themselves, and if you're lucky, they will hypnotize themselves, and then it's a clean kill right there. Let's see, where was I? Okay, so that's vampires in a nutshell. You know, they do live in nests. They do, you know, lure people in to make more vampires. We caught a couple. One was it wasn't an alpha. We call them betas because they're kind of the second in commands. These are like the second oldest ones. If you ever watched the documentary Underworld with that Kate Beckinsale, playing a female hunter, well, hunter/vampire. I don't know. Those movies confuse me. You'll understand what I'm talking about when I say that. You know, some are they, you know, some are second in command. So the betas were trying to recruit an army, and we put a stop to that real quick. That was actually in a different part of the world. That wasn't even stateside. I think we were in Paris, France for that one. But to continue on, so that's vampires in a nutshell. Things to watch out for if a vampire is in or around your home. Keep all your lights on. They will try to stick to shadows as much as possible. But the minute you turn the light off or something, they'll be there. They like to be masters of surprise. You're not going to be walking through your house and suddenly a vampire is going to pop out in front of you and go, blah, he's not going to come walking out in front of you while you're watching TV and be like, hey, here to kick your ass. No, he's going to be hiding in a corner and he's going to grab you from behind whenever you're least expecting it. That's a vampire's MO. Things to stop him. Garlic. That's my favorite one. I had a junior hunter come on a hunt with me one time, and he threw fucking garlic at a vampire. I'm just looking at him. I'm like, Jesus Christ, kid. How much Twilight have you been reading? So the things that work on vampires: steaks, blessed steaks, and I don't mean like stabby steaks. Actual meat steaks. You get them blessed by a Catholic priest, and then you have to find a way to feed them. Now, see, vampires will supplement with steak. They will have their steak rare to supplement some blood intake whenever the getting isn't as good as they want. They will do stuff like that. So bless a steak, and then also decapitation. Decapitation is just a little bit difficult if they're not hypnotized themselves, and we found that out the hard way. I lost 2 good men in Indiana from trying to cut off the head of a vampire. We put them in some I don't know what those things are called. It's the old medieval, the headstock or whatever it's called. It's put the arms and their head through it, and he broke out of those and killed 2 of my guys before I finally convinced him to try some steak, and he was gone. Those are the only real things that you can use to stop them. But pretty much 9 times out of 10, unless you are fully prepared, you are not going to get away from a vampire attack. So there's that. Sorry to report to you. Let's see here real quick. Let's move on to Bigfoot. I've talked about Bigfoot in the past. Bigfoot is one of the monsters that I've hunted them just to see them, but they're very docile creatures. Bigfoot ain't there to hurt you. He is I don't know. He's like a bear. He's like a bear without the bite. He will scream and growl at you, but it's only because so many people are looking for him, and it scares them, so they huddle together in small underground caves that they dig for themselves. They're a digging colony, much like ants, things like that. They will dig and sleep underground, which is very surprising, especially for their size. But I think maybe over the years they had to evolve that way. Because we've been hunting them for so long. Actually hunting them. I never hunted for blood. I met a couple one time, and they were very calm with me. They allowed me to observe their colony. I had shown that I was putting my weapons away and everything, and I left amicably, and that was it. But the thing about Bigfoot, I talked about him being invisible last time. They are invisible. The way I found him was I was going through with this contraption I made in the forest. It would suck up dirt through a small vacuum and then shoot it out through a different vacuum. And with that, I was able to locate some Bigfoot colonies. And they seemed intelligent. They celebrated my ingenuity. That none of them broke my contraption. They saw it, they realized they had been caught, and that was that. But that is also the reason why you never see them. You only see footprints. And the thing is, I really wish y'all stop hunting them. They're good dudes. They obviously don't bother nobody. Usually the only reason they show themselves or attack someone is they've done something to harm their home. Most of the stories I hear are like, oh, Bigfoot came up behind me and grabbed me and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, well, what were you doing? Well, I was taking a piss. Well, you're probably pissing on one of their kids, dude. You know, stop pissing on their children. Maybe they'll stop Bigfooting you. Let's see. Let's move on here to werewolves. Werewolves. Oh, hang on here. I got some. There we go. Some microphone troubles. Werewolves are special. Werewolves hold a very special place in my heart because they. Hang on. Dear Lord. Okay. Werewolves hold a special place in my heart because as a kid growing up, I love werewolves. Werewolves are badass, right? And becoming a hunter, man, fuck werewolves. Those guys are assholes. Assholes. They're not aggressive, okay? Werewolves are not, how do you put it? Hang on real quick. I got feline. Feline. Get off the damn counter. Whatever I got to. Hey, feline. Get down. Get down. Oh dear God. Oh dear God. They're gonna be calling the PETAs on me. You got 5 seconds before I throw this instruction booklet at you. 5. Okay. All right. The look you give me. Yeah, you're looking right at me, ain't you? I'm gonna let those guys in the van have their way. Thank you. It's not like I own the place. Anyway. What was I talking about? Oh, we're werewolves. Werewolves. Okay. Werewolves are assholes in real life. They are not aggressive. The first pack of werewolves I've encountered, they look like people, but there's a couple things you look for. Most of the time you'll see that they have to shave most of their face. Their nose is usually clean, but it's usually the cheeks. So whereas like me and many other men can grow a beard that usually cuts off around the mustache line and goes up to the sideburns, they will actually grow it all the way up to their eye and down and next to the nose and then over the lips. So it's not like the werewolf syndrome you see in pictures or anything like that. But it is definitely noticeable, and you'll notice that they shave right there. You'll see some stubble because their hair grows so fast. And when they change, they do go full dog. I mean, it's no joke. But the first pack of werewolves I actually encountered were pretty friendly with me. And I was like, okay. And I didn't know at the time that they were werewolves, and I was kind of hanging with them a little bit. And then they saw a gun in my bag, a sawed-off shotgun. And they said, "Hey, what are you doing with that?" And I said, "Oh, I hunt things." And they immediately all their back stiffened up, and they got that their hackles up because they do have hackles. And they said, "Well, what do you hunt?" I said, "Well, monsters, demons, and aliens." And they just stared and looked at me and they go, "Look, here's the deal. We werewolves," and I was like, "Oh shit." I reached down for my gun and I'm like, "Oh shit." And they stopped me. They grabbed my hand. I'm like, "This is it. I'm fucking going down." They said, No, you wait. We werewolves are not aggressive. We do not feed on people. We go out and get 1 cow a week maybe, and our whole clan feeds on it for the week. I said, okay. They said, we are not aggressive. We are not going to kill you right now unless you try to kill us. I said, okay. And then the strangest fucking thing started happening. They started talking about what I was wearing, my outfit. Started making fun of my outfit, and I'm looking at them like, what the hell's your, what? What's the big idea here, boys? And, so they started making fun of my outfit, saying that, cargo shorts and an orange vest. What are you, hunting buck? And I said, well, hey, this is what I used to hunt in. And then they started giving me shit, saying, and a camo t-shirt. What, do you want to be seen? Do you not want to be seen? And then they saw my socks, and I have Rocky and Bullwinkle socks, they start making fun of those. So, you know, where'd you get those at? A Friends episode? And I'm like, okay, this is bullshit. You know, this is absolute bullshit. And I left, and they were all laughing at me, and I didn't kill them. You know, they posed no threat to me. I did watch them for a little bit, and they did say what they were doing. They were going out and getting a cow. And I thought, okay, maybe just that pack of werewolves are assholes. I left town, went up to, that was in Connecticut, and I went up to Wisconsin, and by God, met another pack. And they started doing the same exact thing. And they were doing it, you know, they say, oh, no, we don't need people. That's fucking nasty. We go out and grab a cow or two, and we feed on that. And I say, you changing people into werewolves? He go, no, not unless they pose a threat to us. And then we change them, mostly hunters. And I backed off, and I said, okay. And then I realized that werewolves aren't a threat. If you ever see a werewolf in real life, they're more afraid of you than you are of them. If you see a werewolf in real life, just back off. They ain't gonna hurt you. If you try to hurt it, it will then hurt you. But just back off. They're like the coyotes of the monster world. And they're fucking assholes. And that's what I learned. They're just fucking assholes. It's crazy. I did encounter one. She was quite beautiful and almost had me into bed before I saw her raise her arms up and saw that she did not shave her under pits area. And I don't know about you guys, but that's usually a good indicator that they're all natural downstairs, and I'm fine with that. You know, I'm fine with a little hair downstairs, but when you got it up in the devil's playground area, you know, the ass area, when you get up in there, and it's so much that, you know, I gotta use both my hands to get in below to wave hello with the little man in the canoe. That's just not me. You know, I'm okay with a little bit of bush. Ladies, if you ever meet me and you want to take me to bed, I'm okay with a little bit of bush. You know, just like my presidents, I'm okay with a little bit of bush. But I'm not too hot on the full-on natural. You know, you gotta at least do a little trimming. I do a little trimming myself. You know, it don't hurt nothing. It don't hurt one damn thing. Trim up a little bit, okay? You don't gotta go full bald. I don't want to look like I'm screwing some prepubescent teen. No, fuck that. I want a little bit of bush to remind me that I got a woman, but she's a better woman if she's got it in a nice little landing strip, or even if she's got a nice, you know, triangular bush, you know, kind of that all-natural pattern, but she's trimmed it up a little bit, kind of like how we trim our beards, you know, kind of thing. I just don't want to have to wade through, you know? I just don't want to have to pick on through. Basically, I don't want to have to use a machete to eat you out, ladies. I mean, that's the God's honest truth. And I have done that many a times in my life. Not the machete hacking, but the eating out of women, especially in my travels, man. You go to Europe, they see you're an American, they, whew, almost too much for me how much sexual activity was over there. More sexual activity than paranormal activity, I'd say. Anyway, werewolves are assholes. One hot werewolf didn't fuck her. Almost did. I mean, honestly, what would I have lost? You know, I was just a little afraid I was gonna make a little baby lock in there. Let's see. So, swamp monsters. Now, swamp monsters is a very broad term, and I use it a lot. But the most prominent swamp monster is the skunk ape. Skunk apes are found in central and southern Florida. And imagine Bigfoot, a little less big, and in a swamp. That's it. They're found in the Everglades a lot. They kill crocodiles and alligators. Many people see them. The most distinctive thing is you'll see red eyes in the bush. Have encountered a couple of those. Not as nice as Bigfoot, I gotta say. I have in fact killed a couple of those. They're very, very wild. Okay, here's a good way to put a skunk ape. King Kong, right? Giant monkey that everyone thinks is fake, right? Everyone thinks, oh, it's just a legend or a movie. Yeah, okay, we'll talk about that in a minute. Imagine King Kong, but sized down, like scaled down. That's it. About the size of you or me. Wouldn't be able to wear a 3XL. Would have to get the 3XL big size. I myself am a 4XLT. You know, very tall, very big. But anyway. So, I mean, those guys, honestly, if you see a skunk ape and it's close enough, you're fucked. There's nothing you're going to do about it. And there's nothing you can really use to prevent it. They just kind of pop up. So, let's move on to King Kong. How do I talk about King Kong? Now, King Kong is a fake name. That is not his name. We call him the Girabolus. And if you do not know, Girabolus is Latin for giant baboon. And the Girabolus, I'll call him King Kong for the effect of you guys, but Kong in the story lives on Skull Island with all these, you know, giant creatures and a culture of people down there, a tribe of people. The tribe of people does not exist. The island does. It is called Skull Island, but not because it looks like a skull. It is called Skull Island because if you actually look at it one way, it looks like an SK. And, you know, I'm starting to think maybe it did look like a skull. I don't know why they call it Skull Island. I know I've been there once, but it's not on any maps. I tried to Google Maps it to see how far it would be to get there, but, you know, Google ain't got nothing on it. And, you know, usually you think, hey, if Google don't got it, nobody do, but, And I've been there once. Everything's true. There is a King of Kong. There are giant bugs, and honestly, I don't talk about it too much. I don't like to because of the fact that it is out there, it is real, but it is contained. No one has found it yet. So there's that. I don't want people to find it. So let's see here. Those are just some of the major ones, and the reason I've taken all this time to explain these to you and some stories I've had through with them is to kind of get the idea out there that these aren't the storybook monsters that you knew growing up. So, I mean, really, let's see here, check Twitter real quick. Okay, so really, and you know, I look back on these things and I realize that these need to be told to people. So just remember these things. So now, we got about 15 minutes left in the show. We can go through Reddit just a little bit and look at some of these theories. A bird or an insect? Well, look at that. I'm gonna go ahead and actually post this up on the website. If you ever are interested in the things I talk about, I'm gonna start posting those on the website so you can all see them, obviously. And let's see, I haven't made the page. This is something I just decided to do right before the broadcast, so I didn't have time to go through and edit it. But let's see, I'll make the page and we'll call it From the Show. Yeah, we'll do that. So let's see here. From the Show. You guys are getting a little look behind the curtain here. And here we go. Okay, so what I'm gonna post up here, it's a link to an Imgur. I'm guessing that's image, so it Imgur. I don't know, how do they say that? Need help. Yes, I need help. I need to know how the hell you say your company name. Real quick. Imgur. What are tags? What? How do you pronounce your name? Countless. Imgur is pronounced Imager. The name comes from and the extension IMG, your image. So it's Imager? Well, they're missing a fucking eye. God. This is just like the whole GIF thing. I don't fucking understand why they can't just make it. It's GIF, by the way. I don't give a fuck what the inventor says. I found this argument in the middle of a battle once with a midget demon, and he threw an insult at me. He said, "You probably pronounce GIFs as GIF," and I said, "Well, I fucking do. Is that the wrong way to do it? Is it not a GIF? How do you pronounce a J? It's Jif." And I said, Jif is a fucking peanut butter. Jif is a fucking peanut. I eat Jif on my sandwiches. I don't understand. But anyway, it's GIF. Okay, I've looked it up. It stands for graphic interface pronunciation, whatever the fuck it is, and it's GIF. How do you say graphics? Graphics, not graphics. It makes my head hurt. So anyway, to get back to the point that I've severely gotten off point on, what I'm looking at here in this, oh, it's making me mad. Okay, keep together. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. All right. What I'm looking at this Imager album, it is the explosion of the SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket that was supposed to launch and exploded on deck on the launch pad. There you go, launch pad. And what's interesting about it is someone actually looked at it from an angle and slowed down a GIF of it. And there is something that goes, oh, look at that. The more you look at it. So it goes flying across the rocket, right? And right when it's about to cross over, the rocket explodes. Now, I'm no aeronautical expert. But if I'm dropping bombs from a plane, I don't want to drop the bomb right on my target as far as like, okay, we're right over the target, drop the bomb. I want to do it a little bit before, because the bomb's going to have a little bit of inertia, and it's going to blow shit up. You know, it's going to hit its target if that inertia is carrying it over. So, wow, that's insane. You got to go check out the website. Click on the From the Show tab, and it'll be there. I'm actually posting it right now. That is amazing to look at. You know, when I first looked at it, I didn't see, wow. I didn't see the what do you call it? The negative delay or the positive delay. You know, whenever you're hunting a buck, if a buck's running like toward the right, you want to get a little bit ahead of it. You know, same thing with wind. But let's see here. I'm gonna go ahead and put it on here. SpaceX Falcon 9 UFO causes explosion. And we're just gonna go ahead and post that link right here. There you go, people. And that is how the truth gets out there. Now, so that's posted up there. You can find that on my website at truthguru.net. And whoo, God, these people in the comments, looks like a bird to me. A bird with rockets, maybe, but definitely a bird. Are you fucking telling me you actually believe that there is a bird with fucking rockets, but you can't believe that that is a UFO, that is an alien? I refuse to believe you're that stupid. But some people just are. Oh God, this poor guy. I doubt that would be a bird, but it could be unrelated. Yeah, it's unrelated. It just flies over at the exact moment the fucking thing explodes. I don't get people. It's aliens. Yes, it is aliens. You're correct. Let's see what Reddit has to say. There's 28 comments on it. It was just submitted 12 hours ago. Top comment is, I'm convinced after seeing this new analysis that this is a bird. You can see, to me anyway, in the stills, when the wings are up, then in the next they're down. I can't see that, and I'm looking right at it, and I'm a fucking expert. I'm the guru, people. I'm gonna have to talk back to him. Let's see who. And they're downvoting this guy that says, how can a bird fly that fast? Are you fucking kidding me, people? What do you want? Yep, that's a bird. You can clearly see wings. Very good. Yeah, right here. This incident always seems suspicious to me. The timing of that object is just too perfect. You're correct. I'm gonna have to. Let's see. If you think that is a bird, you're just afraid of the truth. Open your, don't capitalize your eyes, people. The evidence is presented and ready for us to receive. How do you spell receive? Okay. Receive. Don't underestimate the evolutionary need for the world to reveal the truth. Signed, the Guru. So anyway, now that's done. How much time we got left on? Oh, we're running low. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, we'll go. So we'll do a little more alien talk here. I don't want this whole show to be about aliens, but we talked a lot about vampires and all that stuff. So we'll get into this. Let's talk about Trump's plan. Obviously, in the first show, if you listened, which I know most of you did, I talked about Trump's plan to build a wall on the southern border, and then he's going to do one on the north border. And he's already working to close off the eastern and western borders through the immigration bans. And he's working real hard to do that through the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court ain't letting him. And hey, good on you, Supreme Court, because you're stopping one of the biggest plans in the history of history. Right? So I originally thought his plan was to wall us in, get us to the middle of the country, so that we're all in very, very populated areas, and then they can come in and independent stay the fuck out of us, and then the stragglers will become slaves, sexual or labor, I'm not sure yet, and that would be that. But with this whole new Sweden thing, I'm not too sure. Now he's got this whole thing and talking about how Sweden's got criminals and stuff like that. And it seems, I'm not sure if he's trying to keep Americans in America or if he's trying to get other people to come in. Maybe by stopping his plan. The Supreme Court, he has had to come up with a new one, come up with a new contingency. I'd fully believe that. I'd fully believe, his advisors sitting in a room right now going, oh shit, the Supreme Court ain't doing what we thought they would do. These aliens are coming down pretty soon, Donnie. We got to do something. So he goes on TV and says, well, the news says this, the news says this, even though he hates the news. That's the only way it makes sense. I mean, honestly, I probably next week I'll go into politics a little bit more and about how much politics are in it for the alien races. If you think that this whole thing with NASA finding habitable planets is new information, good luck. I don't even remember what it's called. It's called like Trespass 1 or something like that. Yeah, you know why it's called Trespass 1? Because the aliens are going to trespass on us. the aliens are going to come to us and trespass on our land and on our rights. You don't believe me, there's not a lot I can do. But hey, that's just me. So, we're going to go ahead and close out the show now. This is kind of a calm week. I've been trying to stay calm. I've been in this house a little bit too much. Honestly, I'm going to be real honest with you guys. I'm fucking terrified. Oh, what the hell's going on out there? Huh. Interesting. I say I'm terrified. Some shit starts getting knocked over out front. Okay. Even more terrified now. MR.X dying last week after doing the show. They took him out. They might take me out soon. I'm gonna put up a constant announcements and updates on the schedule. If I don't, I'm gone, and I'm sorry. But I have my journal here, and if anybody cares enough about the truth, they'll seek it out. And I'll put it somewhere. How about this? I'll tell you what. I've got my journal ready to send out. If I'm not around anymore, if I stop broadcasting or podcasting or whatever, if my site stops being updated, that journal is immediately going to be sent upon my death to one of the 3 most populated cities in the U.S. It'll be found anywhere in the cities. I don't know. And that's where you can find it. Somewhere in one of the 3 most populated cities in the U.S. So New York, Los Angeles, or I think Dallas. I don't know. I'll have to look at it. Sorry, I'm a little shaken up by the out front thing. They've kind of been getting too close to the house lately, and maybe they're ready for me to be done with the show. Anyway, if you want to check out my website, it's truthguru.net. I have it up on my Mixler if you're listening to the broadcast. Truthguru.net. That's where you can find my podcast, my announcements, my updates, my social links. My Twitter is truth_guru_. My Reddit is truth_guru. No, the_truth_guru. And that is if you guys see an article you want me to read or talk about, anything political, religion-wise, or alien-wise, shoot me a mention. Don't worry about what the guys on the alien subreddits will say. I am a good source. I'm not crazy like they're saying. And so there's that. I do, if you're listening to the podcast, I do this live every week, the recordings. I do it on a Mixler. It's MR.X Mixler.com/the-truth-guru. My live broadcast is up on my website too on the homepage. I have a little player up there so you can listen to it there if you can't find the Mixler link. You can find my past broadcast on Mixler. You can find my podcast on iTunes and on YouTube. I have a YouTube account. You can find it in my social links on the bottom of the page on my website. And if you just search it on YouTube, type in The Truth Guru, it'll come up. I post all the podcasts up there too. So, that's that. We got about, a minute and a half until it's an hour show. Thank you all for listening. I'm sorry. I know I'm keeping you guys on a little bit longer than I should. I'm just, I'm a little worried about what's going to happen when I turn this microphone off. They got these government guys outside my house or something. I don't even know. I'm not even scared about what they're going to do to me. I'm scared about what I'm going to do to them. I'm a trained hunter. I've been hunting monsters and demons. You think these suits scare me? I don't care if they're the fucking Men in Black. I'm a hunter. It's what I do. Thank you all for listening. If you want to check out more, truthguru.net, I highly suggest you do. Go up there, drop me a comment on a podcast. Chat on my Mixler page. My Mixler page is still live. Oh, and real quick, I do a Truth Guru rewind throughout the week, sometimes on weekends, where for 3 hours a day, I play past podcasts that I've done and the most recent one. I start with the most recent and go down the oldest until my 3 hours are up. I do that each day, and except Thursday and maybe weekends, because Thursday I do the live broadcast and then weekends I might not be available. So that's all on you guys. truthguru.net if you want to learn more. And thank you all for listening. Truth Guru out.